Hello everyone and welcome to Witches of the Moon. My name is Jen and I'm your Tuesday hostess. Now, normally this video would already be up. Normally I would be in bed. Normally my hair wouldn't be a mess and I would at least have some mascara on. However, I just got back from the Bahamas. I thought we were going to be back on Monday and I found out when I got to the Bahamas that it was Tuesday. And I thought we were going to be back in enough time for me to do this video, and I found out we had a 5-hour layover. And so then I figured, okay, well, it's only 2 hours from Miami to Indiana, and it ended up being 3, and I'm not quite sure why, unless it was the temperature difference, because we were in an area where it was like, at least in the 70s, it's kind of like the, kind of on the cool side for the Bahamas and Miami. And it was 25 when we landed in Ohio and 19 when we got to Indiana. So after spending about 30 minutes with my little dog because she didn't want me to put her down, and I decided to go ahead and make this video. So this week's topic is all about balancing your spiritual practice with work, with family, you know, that kind of thing, how you do that. And for me, it's not really that much of an issue because I do work from home. So I can pretty much do whatever I need to do whenever I need to do it. However, you know, having said that, we do go to a lot of concerts, we go to a lot of plays, we do travel a lot. Next year will be no exception. So working around that, you know, I really have to schedule and I really have to plan ahead, especially for rituals, you know, or any kind of spell work that I'm going to be doing. I really have to plan a lot of things in advance, and I try to keep it as simple as possible. When it comes to a daily practice, however, I try to get into a routine and just kind of stick with that, even if I have to pencil it in. You know, even if I say, okay, at 10 o'clock I'm going to do meditation, or I'm going to do this working, or, you know, what have you. Sometimes it has to be that I need to pencil it in, especially if our weeks are really busy. Especially around this time of the year where, like I said, we just got back from the Bahamas. We have some Christmas programs that we have to go to, and then we have work and everything else. So sometimes, you know, writing it on writing it down in my planner just as a regular appointment, you know, will kind of keep me on track and get me back in the swing of things. As far as balancing it with family life, now, again, this isn't hard for me because my children are grown. And so they do not live in the home, and they actually don't live in the same area where I do. So there really isn't any balancing as far as, you know, I need to carve out time for them. I spend a lot of time. I do talk to my girls by phone, on Facebook, you know, wherever. They'll send me messages or they'll text me, or, you know, like I said, we'll call each other. So that's kind of how I do that. And it doesn't interfere with my spiritual practice or any other working that I am doing. Now, I know for some people who work outside of the home, I'm sure that is a difficult time, you know, and sometimes it can be hard for them to kind of balance everything. And I think for me, I think that's why I will write it down in my you know, write it down as a regular appointment so that I don't miss it, because I believe that your spiritual practice is just as important as anything else. You know, if you're not taking care of yourself, then how can you take care of others? So, you know, you can't just one day decide, okay, well, I'm going to ask, you know, for this I'm going to ask the goddess for this, and then 6 months later you don't do anything else in between there until the next time you need something. I don't think that's a very good practice. So making the time, I think it's very important. If it's important to you, you'll make the time. Like I said, even if you have to set it as an appointment, just like I do. Carve out 20 minutes, 10 minutes a day to do that, and so that's kind of how I do that. But even on the days that I'm really busy and on the go a lot, I do whatever I can to find quiet time. Like this week, of course, I had the ocean. That was great. But the airplane, just at the airplane, when you're on a plane, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do. So you can spend that time in meditation with your goddess or your god, or other deities that you work with, your spirit guides, whatever. At the airport, I know it gets kind of noisy at times, but that's the best way to kind of test everything, especially with meditation. If you can meditate in a noisy airport, you can meditate everywhere, anywhere. And so, just carving out that few minutes, whether you're just closing your eyes for a few minutes or whatever it may be, that's what I do, and that's really what I did this week. Like I said, at the airport, on the plane, just anywhere where I had a few minutes where I could just quiet my mind and have that little conversation. So, but that's really how I balance things. I mean, writing it down, making it an appointment, and doing what I can to connect whenever I can, wherever I am. And I think that's just as important. I think, even 2 minutes is just as important as 30 minutes. So, it's not about the amount of time that you spend in your practice, but it's the quality of time, taking that effort, making that effort to do so. So that's really all I have for now, and I apologize for this video being up so late, but I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.